Hey, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Spark. I'm Coach David. Hope you're doing fantastic on today. I hope that everything is moving in the right direction for you, that your life is moving the way that you want it to move. But remember this right here. You are the architect of your life. And because of that, you can get your life moving the way that you desire for it to move. I'm excited that you are here with me on today to join me in this time where I hope to share something with you that's going to take you to a new level, that's going to help you grow and develop into being everything that you want to be. I know this to be a truth that when we put our heart and mind into something and we stay focused on it and we work at it, we get where we would like to get. So hang in there. Don't give up on yourself. Don't cave in. Don't quit. You've got this. I promise you that if you stay connected, if you stay committed, you stay focused, you've got this. And I'd like to say it like this. If you do those things, you're further along today than you were yesterday. So just keep driving. Just keep going for it and watch great things happen. Well, on today, I'm excited to share with you something about mental toughness. Oh, yeah. I love this subject because I think some people have a misunderstanding of what mental toughness is. And some people, while they may understand it, they don't know how to get there and be mentally tough in those situations that they need to be mentally tough in. So I hope to share something with you on today that's going to help you increase your mental toughness and develop it to a degree that you can just stand tall and go for it and watch great things happen to you. So what I would like to do, I'd like to talk to you about the 4 C's of mental toughness. But before we do all of that, let's get a working definition of what mental toughness is so that we're all working from the same understanding. Mental toughness is your ability to stay focused, confident, and composed under pressure. Now, this pressure could come from your job, where you're like in one of those type of jobs where you're customer service and a lot of people are coming at you. That can be pressure. Your pressure could be, you could be a high school student and the academic side of it, that's pressure. You could be an athlete and competing at a very high level, or just competing altogether, and you could have that pressure. So, but what I want to do for you, I want to show you from a standpoint that you have this mental edge, you have this mental ability that allows you to push through fear, to push through fatigue, and to push through frustration, no matter what it is. You also have this mental edge, if you will. You have the ability to stay process over outcome focus, because a lot of times that's what tangles us up when we're looking at the outcome over the process. You also have this mental edge, this mental ability where you can have a belief in yourself, a belief in your team, and know that collectively as a group or individually, you can overcome situations and circumstances. And let's just say one of those situations and circumstances pop up. You have this mental edge that allows you to bounce back quickly from any mistake, any setback. You know my old saying, a setback is just a setup for a comeback. So what you have to understand is that you have this within you. What you may need to do is get an understanding of how to develop it and how to move forward in it. Now, with that being said, with having the understanding of staying focused, staying confident, staying composed under pressure, no matter what that pressure is, we need to be able to move forward into that and take and develop this mental toughness even more. So I said it was 4 C's. Today, I'm going to talk about the first C of control. Now, remember this, mental toughness is a mindset that takes pressure and turns it into performance. I'll say that again because I really like the way that sounds. It takes the pressure, whatever pressure you may be under, academic pressure, athletic performance pressure, on your job pressure, family pressure, whatever that pressure is, when you have mental toughness, that allows you to take that pressure and turn it into performance where you can perform even through the pressure. So the first C that I would like to talk about today is control. Yes, controlling how you respond. Now, you've heard me say this before, and I'll share it again. You cannot always control what happens to you, what happens around you, but you can definitely control your response to those things. So in going through this on today, I want to identify three types of control. The first one that I'd like to talk about, excuse me, is the emotional control. Emotional control. What is that? Well, emotional control is where I don't allow my emotions to dictate my performance. I don't allow my emotions to get involved in that. Now, listen, I understand this. We all have emotions. We all deal with emotions. Okay. What you want to do, you want to recognize and redirect. What do you mean by recognize and redirect? Well, the first thing that I want to do, there are certain things that will trigger my emotion. So, what I like to do, I like to recognize what those triggers are. What are those things that set me off and cause my emotions to become very high? And so when I recognize that, what I want to do then, I want to redirect my focus. So that's where recognize and redirect comes in, because there are things that will get you emotionally charged. I like to tell people I'm unemotional about this. Why am I unemotional about this? Because I don't care? No. The reason why I'm unemotional is because I do care. And I cannot allow my emotions to get the best of me, because I don't always make the best decisions when I get all riled up in my emotions. So what I want to do, I want to stay away from that, those triggers, and I want to redirect my focus. And so what I have now, this is the next part of it, I have a reset routine. What do you mean a reset routine? Well, when I recognize that my emotions are getting the best of me, I have to have something that I can reset in order to be refocused. I know I'm using a lot of re's here, but you'll see where I'm going. So what do you mean by that? Okay, so the first thing that you have to do in a reset routine, you got to recognize. Recognize what? You got to recognize that your emotions is getting the best of you. And when you recognize that your emotions are getting the best of you, you got to ask the next question. Is this relevant to what's going on right now? And I got to answer that question for myself, and I got to answer it quickly. No, this is not relevant to what's going on right now. So what do I need to do? I need to refocus. That's what I do. So let's say, for instance, I'm in a situation where I'm taking a test, and I know that I need to pass this test to get some certification or to move to the next level. I understand that. So in the midst of that test, I began to allow my emotions to get wrapped up that, man, if you don't pass this test, you're not going to be able to go to the next level. Oh, if you do badly on this test, everybody's going to know about it. Well, I got to recognize that that's happening to me. And when I recognize that that's happening to me, I got to immediately say, well, whoa, wait a minute. Is this what I'm thinking right now relevant to this test? Because remember, we said outcome is not good. We want to be process oriented. So once I recognize that, then I say, no. This is not relevant to what I'm doing right now. I need to refocus. So what I will do at that point, I will begin to refocus on what? The process. I'm taking the test. I need to refocus on the process. So that's the emotional control that you need to have. The next type of control I would like to talk to you about and share with you is the focus control. You've heard this before, I'm sure. Where attention goes, energy flows. What do you mean? Well, if I give my attention to something, I'm giving my energy to it too. So I understand this right here. We'll go back to the outcome. If I'm focusing on the outcome, my energy is going to what could possibly be, what could happen, what might happen to the outcome. There is no energy going to the process. Well, what do you mean? There's no energy going to the task in front of me because I'm looking at what could be happening down the road. So I've got to make sure that I have focus control and I put my attention where it's needed. When I put my attention where it's needed, I put my energy where it's needed. The task at hand. I'll go back to the test. If I start allowing my focus to be on my final grade or what's going to happen, I cannot be placing my energy on taking the test. That's the task at hand, is taking the test. Listen, we have this thing talking about controlling what you can control. And so what I need to do, I need to make sure that I am controlling the things that I can control. And right now, what I can control is focus on the task at hand, which is the test. Now, here's some things that will happen to you that will cause you to lose focus control. Distractions, things coming from the inside and the outside. Overthinking. Oh, yeah, we do that a lot. Or comparison. I'm comparing myself to this person or that person, this situation or that situation. All of those pull you off your mission, pull you off your task. What I need to understand is this right here, is that I am going to stay focused on the task at hand, not the outcome. The process is way more important than the outcome. David, how do you do that? Well, I have these things I call focus drills. Like I have, you can find it on the internet, focus grids. And what it'll challenge you to do is to stay focused long enough to get a sequential order of numbers. And you're timing yourself to stay focused. And so this is really important because you can start out just simply staying focused. And then you can start adding in distractors like noise, music, people talking in the background, somebody clapping and shouting. The focus is where it's at. I also have this exercise I call the dot. In other words, I'll put a dot on my whiteboard and I'll just stay focused on that dot and see how long I can stay focused on that dot. And then I can train myself when my mind starts drifting, thinking about something else, I can pull it back to that dot. So I don't let the distractions, I don't let overthinking, I don't let the comparison get the best of me. Focus control. So we've talked about the emotional control. We've talked about the focus control. I'd like to talk about the response control next. Response control. What do you mean by response control? Well, let me put it like this. Don't react. Proper response control. Don't react. Proper response. So you're either going to react or you're going to respond. And what a lot of people do, they don't take the time to pause for just a moment before acting. What they'll do, something will happen. It's a trigger. Remember that it's a trigger, and they'll immediately react without responding. And in that, what we can do many times, we can get ourselves off of our control by losing the ability to respond properly. What are you talking about? My reaction, you want to remember this, my reaction to any situation is my responsibility. And you've heard me talk about this before. Responsibility is 2 words, respondability. You have the ability to properly respond. And my reaction is my responsibility. So I'm not going to allow things to get the best of me. I'm going to respond properly. Let's say I have a mistake. I need to understand and I need to respond in the proper way. Well, what's the proper way? The proper way in understanding a mistake is that it is feedback. I don't need to make excuses. I don't need to come up with some grand story. I just need to understand a mistake was made. I made it. And now I am going to get feedback. So I've given you 3 types of controls in this mental toughness. I've talked about the emotional control. I've talked about the focus control, and I've talked about the response control. So as I close it out today and we focused on control, I want you to remember this right here. Mental toughness always starts with you mastering the control factor. When you understand that, and like I always say, when you understand that you cannot control what the scoreboard looks like, you can't control how your boss acts or his or her reaction. You can't control when a referee or a judge makes a certain call on you. But what you can control, your effort, your attitude, and your focus. Those are the key things. Champions, listen, champions in, I don't care what, champions in business or champions in athletics or champions in the classroom, they do not waste time trying to fight something they can't change. You can't change other people. You can't change what other people think. But what you can change is the way you channel your energy into what you have control over. So I have this thing, and I tell people all the time, control the things you can control. Don't worry about the things you can't control. So as you go into this week, I want you to take this part of mental toughness. There's more, but I want you to take this part, just getting control. Take this part of the mental toughness, and I want you to make sure that you got calm control. One situation at a time, one challenge at a time, one decision at a time. And if you do those things, then you're going to find that mental toughness is getting stronger on the inside of you. Thank you so much for being here on today and sharing with me. I hope you'll take up that challenge this week. I hope that you'll have that calm control, and I hope you'll work towards having that mental toughness it's all on the inside of us. We got to nurture it and build it up and grow it up and then use it to our best benefit. Do me a big favor if you would. Please share this with someone. Please do that because it will help others learn how to have that mental toughness that we always talk about. Listen, I've got to get out of here on today. I thank you so much for being here on today and sharing with this and sharing this with others. But remember this right here. You are the architect of your life. I'm Coach David, and I believe in you. I'll see you on next week. You have a great week all week long. Bye.